Hi, all. Welcome to Live with Cullen Haynes, Ledger Legends, episode 11. Where has the time gone? It's great to be here with you today and bringing on a very special guest, my brother from another mother, part of the Haynes clan, all the way from Canada. And we're going to be talking all things listening, innovating, and growth. The name of both his business and his best-selling Amazon book. So could you please make very welcome my dear friend, colleague, and family, Mr. Michael Haynes from Listen Innovate and Grow. How are you, Michael?
I'm very well, Cullen. It is great to be here. Looking forward to our discussion.
Oh, it's great to have you, my friend. It's great to have you. And everyone wants to know what is happening in your world right now for those just tuning in.
So what is happening in my world, Cullen? Great question. So I'm a business growth specialist. My focus and passion, Cullen, as you well know, is working with small and medium B2B accounting and CFO advisory firms and B2B technology firms. I am based here in beautiful Sydney, Australia, but you can tell by my accent or lack thereof, depending how you want to interpret it, from Canada. Australia, Canada, and the US are kind of my three core markets. And so a lot of my days and sometimes some of my nights are spent working with entrepreneurs around the globe on their challenges on building and growing their accounting, CFO, and technology companies. So that's what's occupying a lot of my time that I love doing. So that's where I'm at today, June 24th, June 25th, depending on what side of the Pacific Ocean you're on.
Absolutely. Obviously, we met through LinkedIn, and thank goodness we did because got many similarity, always high energy, and we obviously met up again at the ACE conference, the Accounting Conference and Expo last week at the Hyatt Regency in Sydney, which is awesome. Met up with Connor Keenan as well, another legend in the finance game as well. So we're in good company for anyone tuning in today. Michael Haynes is an absolute winner.
Thank you. You're too kind, Colin. You're too kind.
No, but what I asked my friend, make it a bit fun. If you could describe your life using just film titles, what do you think it would be?
Okay, I've had a bit of a think. I'm going to cheat a little. I'm going to give you 2 movies and 1 Netflix series. So the 3 media are going to be Around the World in 80 Days.
I love that. That is totally you.
Yeah, Black Panther and the Netflix series Sprint. Because anyone who knows me well knows that I'm a massive athletics fan. I've been to World Championships twice as a spectator, 2017 in London, 2023 in Budapest. I went to Athlos, the first all-women's athletics meet in New York. Been to the Sydney Olympics, plan to go to LA 2028. So yeah, so those are the 3 that I would say describe me if I had to pick 3 media in a nutshell.
Oh, fantastic, my friend. You are quite active, quite sporty. I think at one time you were saying you do the gym twice a day on some days. Like some people struggle to get even 1 session in. So you're doing quite well, my friend.
Yes, I do try, not as much now as I used to because working globally, early mornings, midweek is late afternoons in the US and Canada. So I don't do my early mornings as much as I used to, but I still do try to do that on Monday mornings because it's still Sunday there. So I try to do the double early morning cardio and then weights, maybe a second cardio session Monday evenings. But yes, so the rest of the time it's just once a week, 4 times a week. But I try it on Mondays if I can do a double session. Yeah, it's always good.
Mate, you're putting the rest of us to shame, Mr. Haynes.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that at all. Hear you.
Technical difficulties on these wonderful streams. How's that going? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Very good. Well, you've walked across 4 continents. What does it take to be number 1 in your field, in your opinion?
I think to be number 1 on top of your game, I think it's a couple of things, Cullen. 1, you have to be continuously learning. So you have to stay on top of your game and knowing, what are the and learning from a couple perspectives. One, with respect to your own area, your master, your craft. What are the latest trends, new developments, and new approaches? As a business growth go-to-market specialist, I'm continually tapping into the experts and some of my colleagues that are always on the curve of what's new and happening. So continuous learning in your area of specialty, keeping on top of those trends of the clients, of the industry, the market that you seek to serve. And I'm going to say, yeah, networking and tapping in, building your network so you're really, immersing yourself in the market with colleagues, potential collaborators, potential clients, so you really know what's going on. Those are the two keys to success, to really being at the top of your game and being able to really serve your clients, your customers in the best possible way.
Yeah, I'm indeed by what you're saying, because obviously, for those tuning in, Michael Haynes is a business growth strategist, and he wrote the book on Listen, Innovate, Grow, and you called your business that as well. Shout out to the book. I would love to ask, what first sparked your passion in advising business leaders, especially in the B to B and SME space?
Okay, great question, Colin. So I've been working as an independent, as a business growth specialist now for just over 14 years, since 2011. Yes. Prior to that, I was in big corporate. So I was working, my last role was working at our big telecommunications company here in Australia as their head of customer research and analysis. And that's where I got into the whole B2B space,
Yes.
The whole understanding about how do you leverage listening, getting an in-depth understanding of your industries, markets, customers, competitors, and in B2B, your buyers. How do you gain an in-depth understanding of all that, distill it, pull it together, and how do you use that to drive strategy and drive performance across products, service and support, operations, customer experience, the whole works. So it was in my big corporate life, which I ended in 2010, that I really developed those skills, really enjoyed it, got recognized for my skills and aptitude in that. But I do come from a family of entrepreneurs, Cullen. My sister has her own law practice. She's an immigration lawyer in Canada, employment law lawyer in Canada. My cousin has her own business. Her husband has his own construction business. So love the world of B2B, but I've always kind of had that calling of being an entrepreneur. Small and medium businesses, SMEs, have always felt like my people. So in 2010, I decided, after a stint down in South America, traveling and working in an indigenous community in Peru, to come back and set up my own shop, focusing on working in the B2B space, but for small and medium businesses.
Oh, it's fantastic. And obviously you've learned quite a lot. And anyone joining in, we're streaming live on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitch, X, Instagram Live. Could you please put your questions in the chat box, and we will do our best to answer them. And thank you for anyone rewatching or re-listening to the stream. And be sure to hit that like and subscribe button as well. But you've learned so much over the short 30 years you've been on this earth, Michael. What's one surprising skill or trait that's helped you succeed, but people may not associate with you in business strategy? I would love to know.
I would say, oh gosh, I guess one of the skills that stands out that I seem to be recognized for is being a connector, connecting people.
Yes, a super connector. That's what you are.
Okay, thank you. That has been one of the things that I just like to do naturally. I'm very much a people person, and being able to connect people and so that they can really connect and engage, really be connected and connecting. That's something I've always done. And now as an entrepreneur, and now in the world of B2B and the way it's evolved, that has found to be a serious advantage. And also a very necessary one, but it has opened a lot of doors and helped create opportunities while helping people at the same time.
No, amazing. And we all have those tough days. Switching gears a little bit, I'd love to know how you yourself unwind, reset, and recharge when the fit hits the proverbial shan, as we say. We all have one of those days.
Oh, we always have one of those days, and sometimes I have, a few of those in a week. Going to the gym for me is always a good thing to, get out on the elliptical for 35, 40 minutes, really crank it up on one of the intense programs, and then hit the gym and doing some weights. I'm a big lover of music. R&B, soul are my first loves, jazz as well. So when I'm working, there's always music playing because that always gets me in the zone.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, I think Fit Body, Fit Mind is the epitome of what you do as well there, Michael. And if you're just tuning in, there is no mistake here. We do have the both, have the same last name. So
Same spelling as well. Yeah.
absolutely, same spelling as well. So it's a rare occurrence that this is going to happen. We're going to have two Hayneses on the one show. Can the world fit them both in? But we're doing our best right now. Absolutely. But would love to ask you, and please, you can be as frank as you want, like any passion projects that you're working on, or personal missions that you're working on outside of consulting right now that you could share, or within consulting as well. Feel free to answer both.
No passion project outside of consulting. The consulting work that I'm doing, working with small, medium businesses, I'm looking to launch my Empower Academy, and the Empower Mastermind Group and the Empower Academy. And subsequently, I do want to launch an Empower Scholarship. So a lot of my passion, Colin, very much about empowering women, people of color, are very much things that I am very passionate about.
Yes.
So those are things that I'm working towards, doing speaking engagements where I have the opportunity to speak to not just business owners who are my clients, but aspiring entrepreneurs, and
yes.
those who are also of women, people of color, is very much a big thing that I'm looking to do. So that is part of the impact that I want to have. So it's all kind of intertwined. The business, what I'm looking to do with it is to be an enabler for me to do some of these other things, such as the academy. I want to launch some scholarships, and to be doing more speaking at groups where I can empower, because it's all about empowerment, to enable,
of course,
not just business entrepreneurs, but those aspiring to have the education, the inspiration, the insights to have the lives and impact that they seek to have themselves.
I love that. And how's that going, that mission and project that you're working on?
The mission is going well. I've been busy in business development, working with clients, as we all have been, and it's been a little bit challenging the first part of the year. And now I'm switching gears to get ready for the Empower Mastermind launch. So it is all progressing in the right direction. So I am very happy about that. So I can, still smiling, I'm happy, smiling. It's progressing, moving in the right direction. So it is all good.
That's fantastic, my friend. And a lot of my clients have got 25,000 connections on LinkedIn, a lot of lawyers, accountants, and professionals. So, and you've worked with a lot of startups and scale-ups globally, right? So where do you see the biggest shift coming in the B2B space over the next decade with the rise of AI and everything going on?
Okay, well, I would, Colin, to be quite honest, there are shifts in the world of B2B happening right now, and particularly in our world of professional services, because, working with accountants, CFOs, and I have worked with law firms and technology companies as well. I very much kind of put them in that same gamut.
Of course.
The way in which our buyers buy has fundamentally changed over the past couple of years. If you were even to go back to even 2020, 2021, before the dreaded C word, a big driver for decision makers was, how do I solve X? How do I solve, how do I develop the right kind of product? How do I go in the right kind of market? Now the question has shifted to who can help me solve? Who can help me, create that new solution? Who can help me enter those new markets? Who can help me develop the new revenue streams? It is a subtle shift, Cullen, but it is quite impactful in the way buyers buy and how they interact, and hence what your go-to-market strategy needs to be. Because our buyers now, Cullen, are all about networks and tapping into people. And there's lots of research, and I really tap into a lot of the research, not just here in Australia, but globally, into the behavior of B2B buyers. And they're tapping into, your online communities, your CEO advisory groups, your industry associations, your networks, industry analysts. They're really immersing themselves in the market, collaborating, working with, aligning themselves to. It's become very much about the who, and living in the market. And that has big implications for how you take your growth strategies, your go-to-market. So that's a big shift, which many organizations, I find many of our small and medium folk haven't quite caught on to, but it's quite a significant one. Some of the experts in the US call it the concept of near bound, because it's now tapping into your ecosystems, your networks, your people, and that is how we're using to build, grow. That's how you get validation cut through. So that is one that's happening right now, which we really have to adapt, because it means a lot of the traditional ways, Cullen, no longer work. And we will just simply don't work. Like the old show up and throw up, which I know you love so dearly.
We did a video on that and it got some traction, that's for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't work now because, and I have some people in my network that would disagree with me, but cold calling, I won't do it. I will never do it, not in our world, because our folks, that's not how they find solutions to their objective. They will tap into their networks. Who can help them solve it? That's how
right.
They operate. That's how they function. So doing a cold call to someone who doesn't know you, never heard from you, good luck. As I said during our coffee meeting last week, EAs, our executive assistants, are fantastic. They can be your greatest ally, but they also can be the biggest barrier as well. And if they don't know, have a bar of you, good luck trying to get through to any business owner, managing partner, what have you.
It's a great point that you make, I must say, because I've got it on the wall here where we've got our staff benefits program in 40%, that's 40 of big law firms. So almost half of the top 50 law firms in Australia. And I tell you what, none of those came from cold calling. It all came from knowing someone who knew us, who could be our advocate within the firms to introduce us to the movers and shakers. And let me tell you, people, if you're trying to deal with HR, I may be shooting myself in the foot here, but sometimes they may not be the ones pulling the strings, even though they got the title of HR. It's usually the partners or someone else that is the one that's making the decision. So you really need to ask yourself, who am I needing to talk to? Who are the decision makers? And who do I know in my network that can maybe organize a warm introduction? Because the data shows, especially we've got it, a warm introduction converts a lot better than a cold one. And if someone calls you up and said, "Oh, Cullen, Michael, I listened to your podcast. I'm a good friend of Cullen," you're probably going to listen to that person a lot more than Jake, who calls you from nowhere, from no person's land, who you've never heard of. Like it's simple. Tony Robbins and another guy, Joseph McClendon III, talks about it as well in Marketing Mastery. Listen to that on tape back in the day, I think in the 90s. I'm picking up what you're putting down. In other words, Michael.
Yes, and Cullen, you've raised a great point. It is very much around the introductions, but also though it's introductions is not enough. Those warm introductions are fantastic. You have to lead with value. It is about insights, or what I like to call air. You have to deliver now. Particularly, I'm talking within our world of advisory services and those who are buying our accounting, technology, legal, consulting services. Our buyers, our decision makers, they are craving and are looking for insights, what I call air, advice, insights, and recommendations. That is
I like that.
That is what you have to lead with. That needs to be the basis of your go-to-market growth strategies to acquire your clients, to retain and grow them, to get them to upsell, cross-sell. It is all about delivering advice, insights, and recommendations on their key priorities, challenges, and objectives. That is what you have to lead with, and you have to demonstrate and put out there in the world proactively in those right ecosystems. That is how you're going to get traction. That is how you're going to get cut through.
I've got it again for anyone tuning in. Air, can you just talk about that again? AIR. What does that stand for again, Michael?
So it's around advice, insights, and recommendations. Okay. So your decision makers, so the buyers, so those who are looking to, get legal services or getting accounting or CFO services, they want advice on, their key challenges, their key strategies, their objectives. What are the best practices? What are the different kind of strategy options and solutions? They want recommendations on who they should be partnering with, what approaches they should be taking. They want to know about industry trends and what are the upcoming client customer needs and requirements. These are all the kinds of things that we as providers of advisory services need to be delivering and putting out there proactively in those ecosystems, in those areas where our buyers, our decision makers go for information. You have to put it out there proactively, because once you do so, then that's what's going to help you in conjunction with those introductions is what's going to get you to cut through and ultimately get the meeting.
Very, very good, my friend. Very good. And obviously, you've seen a lot of things come across your desk. Very strange and peculiar requests. What's the most unusual and unexpected client request or matter that you've had to actually assist on and weigh in on that comes to mind?
Unusual. Um, I I don't know if I could say unusual. I think that would probably be something that the guest on my LinkedIn Live, Stu Heineck, could probably answer because he's done some very interesting things to get through to the meetings. Um, I find though I get the typical, what I get a lot of, Colin, are these requests of people that want the magic silver bullet and they
Yes.
want it to happen like, I need leads and they want to happen yesterday and they want them fast. And it just doesn't, it's just not feasible now because how our buyers buy, they take a lot longer. They do a lot of research. It's all about networks. A lot,
Yes.
they want fast and they want automated. And that doesn't necessarily work when you're trying to deal with, senior level people that are very busy. Because a lot of us as SMEs, we are trying to get into mid-market and large corporates. And yes, there's great opportunities there, but dealing with those people and trying to get through can take a lot of time, effort. And so, yeah, it's the quick automated, the quick fix, the quick tactics, those just don't work. So I get a lot of folks that want these, these nirvana kind of outcomes in very short amounts of time on grand scales, and they think they can automate it. It just doesn't work because people are wanting to be more connecting now. They want
That's good.
trust, they want confidence, they want clarity. They're looking for advisors and partners now more than ever. Doing things in a very automated style doesn't step up to that. Also, Colin, I also like to add a lot of our decision makers now are very switched on and they're very well versed. You can't go in with what I call the MBA 101 vanilla strategy and recommendations, which AI is great for a lot of things, but AI to some degree will generate, what I call the MBA 101. You have to go much deeper than that. Our buyers expect a lot more depth of expertise, more innovation. They're looking out of the box thinking. So you have to really go deeper, broader, be more innovative than the MBA 101. That's just kind of the basic.
That's old hat. I think you had it recently where you went into a business and they had the director of sales and, he basically said, oh, I don't know why you're coming in, Michael. I've got a plan. We're going to do joint partnerships. We're going to do, we're just going to go deep and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, you've given me like the top of the iceberg, which anyone could probably, Benji could probably come out with it, my 2-year-old. But what does it mean to go deeper kind of thing?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right, Colin. Anyone can, you can develop these generic strategies, but being able to handle the nuances of a particular industry and some of the particular challenges, trying to really break the mold, because a lot of the startups and scale-ups, you're dealing with people who have never been to business school. So they're going on life experience. They're coming out of left field with very different ways. So we really have to break the mold and be very innovative. Yes, use data, use analysis, but we have to be innovative in our thinking and breaking the mold, so to speak. So coming in with these generic, very vanilla approaches is just not going to cut it now in a environment that is very volatile, highly competitive. And you've got entrepreneurs who are really thinking out of the box because they haven't been exposed to the traditional frameworks and way of thinking.
No, good points. Good points. And obviously, we stand on the shoulders of giants, the people that have come before us, our own mentors, family, and otherwise. Who's been the most influential mentor in your life, Michael? And what did they unlock for you?
Oh, wow. Who's been the most influential mentor? I've had a few mentors. Dr. Sandra Burke, who was at the University of Sydney, she really helped me understand, I guess from a technical perspective, marketing strategy, customer strategy, and how do you pull that all together using data analytics. I would say members of my own family in terms of their work ethic and their drive. So my sister, my late mother, they have been strong mentors. Being a big athletics fan, one of my favorite athletes of all times is Gail Devers, the 1992-96 Olympic champion.
Amazing. Shout out to Gail.
She went through a lot of illness and a lot of adversity. And just, I followed Gail through her entire career. I got to meet her last year at Athlos in New York. But listening to her talk about resilience and how you overcome and how you persevere, her mindset and way of of thinking has always been, I guess, a mentor of this kind of guiding how to deal with life, how to deal with adversity, and real stuff, because she was dealing with life-threatening things. So those are some of the people that come to mind in terms of mentors who have kind of helped guided me. And today now I have a few mentors that I'm working with right now. Jerry McNamara in Florida, who's my business advisor, who's been fantastic. I've got Chris Colt up in New York, who's helped me very much in mindset. I tap into Mark Killens for go-to-market strategy. So there's a number of people that I tap into for different things in terms of mindsets, functional skills, business strategy skills. So I'm always learning and tapping into others. For various things.
Amazing. Shout out to all those people. They've left their indelible mark on you there, Michael, which is amazing. And thank you for sharing that with us all here. If you had a power to change one thing in business to approach growth, what would it be, my friend? Power to change one thing.
Power to change one thing in business. This is probably going to be maybe putting some noses out of joint, but from my previous corporate life, corporate execs in senior roles who have no business being there, who are using their power, but really don't have an appreciation of what is involved, the potential, the impact. Because I have to say, while I learned a lot in corporate, some of the things I learned of is sitting in meetings with senior execs who are on fat salaries, who had no business in those jobs and were barriers to productivity, impact, both internally and for customers. So I'm going to put that out there. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. You said it. Mic drop.
Sorry.
Let's go.
There are too many, not all, because I've worked with some fantastic people, senior execs and corporate that I've learned a lot from, but there are a number of them there that are in roles that they have no business in. And I think they fundamentally know it as well too. And that just, it's just a barrier. So
no, I think the great reckoning is upon us, and I think all the companies are doing that middle management squeeze and trying to get rid of the fat. So let's see what happens in the next coming year or two, my friend, and how it, like a more flatter structure. But let's go. And lastly, what's one golden piece of advice you'd offer to young professionals tuning in, starting out their career in either finance, law, accounting, or entrepreneurship or otherwise? What would be one lesson you'd impart to the younger generation?
Okay, I'm going to cheat and say two. One, mindset is everything. Mindset is everything. And secondly, be careful who you seek validation from.
Very, very cogent insights there. That last one certainly is very important.
You need to be very careful who you seek validation from, because again, I'm going to turn back to the more larger organizations. You have people in very senior roles that are supposed to be mentors, leaders. They don't necessarily know what they're doing. They're also not necessarily, in sometimes, the brightest, nicest of people. Their feedback, if it's not delivered, the right feedback, not delivered in the right way, can be very damaging to people's confidence, futures, mindset, the whole work. And I've seen it in positive, where you've had great leaders really inspire, empower folks, young entrepreneurs, young individuals in their careers. I've also seen the negative side, where you have people not in the right roles giving feedback that has been very disempowering, shattering people's ambitions, self-confidence, view of themselves. So be very wary where you seek validation from.
Well said. Well said. Mindset. Be careful of those snakes in suits, as they were, because they're out there. And also on the other side, the most well-meaning people, some of our loved ones, give us advice that we probably shouldn't take because they don't want to see you fail. Is another thing as well.
Yes,
so well said there, Michael. Well said. But lastly, for you, entering on a somber note, but it could be a cathartic and happy note. Legacy time. How would you like to be remembered when it is all said and done, Michael?
When it is all said and done, I'd like to be known as that energetic, crazy traveler who likes to make people feel good, likes to have a good time, and just likes to help people, help them move forward in business and in life.
I love that. And you're already doing that, Michael. And God bless you. Thank you for coming on the Ledger Legends Show, episode 11. Where can people find you? Where are you hanging out the most, my friend?
So you can find me on LinkedIn because I'm always putting out content on LinkedIn. I'm not quite at your level yet,
Come
Colin,
on.
but I'm
Come
getting
on.
there. Watch out.
That's all right.
And
We've got a good book you can read,
I've
which
read
I
it.
know
It is
you've read.
fantastic. It is fantastic. I have it. I have it here. So you can find me on LinkedIn, but you also can go to my website, listeninnovategrow.com.
listeninnovategrow.com. And hold up your book again for those who haven't seen it there. Michael, there we go. Listen, Innovate, Grow. Get it on Amazon, guys. It's an absolute belter of a read. I won't tell you the spoiler alert who dies at the end, but you won't see it coming. I'm just joking. It's a good book, and all business owners should read that one. But nonetheless, thank you, Michael, for coming on the show. We'll bring you back for some bonus questions in just a moment, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And if you're a ledger legend or know someone who is, we're coming out Wednesday on the Live with Cullen Haynes show, talking to interesting people from law in our Law Live show, accounting and finance on our Ledger Legends, and the broader professional community in our Finance Live show. So get in touch. Thank you for tuning in. If you're on the podcast and re-listening, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll come to you next week. Bye for now, everyone. Take care. Thank you for listening. Michael, we're bringing you back. How would you explain your job if you were in a 6-year-old kindergarten room and doing show and tell and saying, guys, this is what I do? How would you explain it as simply as possible?
I would say I help accountants and techie people make more money. I help them sell to more customers and get their current customers to buy more.
Oh, I love that. Nice and simple, can be understood by anyone and any child. Well done. If your pet or a previous client had to describe you in 3 words, what do you think they'd say, Michael?
Energetic.
Yes.
Driven and fun.
Very good. I'd agree with those, actually. Very good. And last but certainly not least, if Michael Haynes could go back in time at any age, to any age, which age would you go back in your 30-year life? And what would you say to yourself? What would be the advice?
I'd probably go back to my 30-something self, and I would drink my own Kool-Aid. Be careful who you seek validation from.
Nice and simple. Very good. I'm sure that would be wise words, well sought from the 30-year-old Mr. Michael Haynes. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. And thanks for joining again, Michael. It's been fantastic. The two Hayneses coming together.
It's been a great time. Thank you so much.
All the best, everyone. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Bye for now.